Willkommen! Let's hear what the honors program was up to in Berlin on June 21st. I'm your narrator, Bryan.
We went off to Europe for a ride, not knowing exactly what would be inside. Doo, 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 doo. Now we're making friends, connections, and learning, being sleek in 4 weeks peek into the heart of Berlin. My classmates Becca, Ying, and Sophia were introduced to the Die Gärtnerei community today. This community partner is building a gathering place around a new garden using available space in a cemetery. Beyond gardening, people are also cooking, relaxing, dancing, making music, and much more in the community. Now going from the Neukölln district to Schöneberg, Zosha and Clayton had their first day at the Youth Museum, where they are working with workshops designed to help students engage with the exhibitions. The museum features 14 rooms, each filled with the personal belongings of a Berliner, as one of their exhibits. My classmates and I are excited to learn from the organizations, and I know we all hope we can help the organizations in return for their warm welcome and insightful teachings. We want to live up to the "to hell with good intentions" reading, ultimate message of respecting the community and being aware of the effects we are having on it. For sure, each of these organizations is addressing many complex issues worthy of attention. We're just at the beginning of it all, so stay tuned. Others had their second day with their community partner, like I did. A location change and subsequently getting lost inspired my brisk walk to the primary school. Once I got there, I sat in on a dance class run by a teacher from the Berlin ballet company Staatsballett. They were preparing a song from the musical Billy Elliot for a performance next week. Hearing this American song made me think of the potential power of using songs from the students' own cultures to help them accept their family backgrounds and start finding their own identity. This could be one step to breaking down the otherness of those with migration backgrounds that is continued by much of the German education system and German academia, which has been mentioned by Dr. Christina Graf, Dr. Viola Georgi, Dr. Fatima El-Tayeb, and many others in their talks. But there is a lot the dance class is doing well. Marginalized students are getting the chance to be featured, including a lead dancer who has been held back due to mental disabilities. There's a lot more that's being successful. After the dance class, I spent lunchtime with a group of 4 students and a social worker. This time is special because it is for working on social and behavioral issues in a small group setting. They practiced their English with me, and I practiced a bit of my German too. We also got to make some yummy pizza with corn. I have no idea why I haven't tried that before. In situations like this, the school works through individual problems around children who are working through different things, an approach that encourages inclusion. For example, if they're working on aggression with one student, some of the others will instead be working with confidence issues or other things. I think this establishes more of a community than the special ed classes in the US. As Christina mentioned at Humboldt University, the victims of German colonization are rarely memorialized in Germany in comparison to the Holocaust victims. People from both groups died, but memorial culture disproportionately focuses on one. I think education has a similar responsibility to try to address each student's issues appropriately, no matter what they are. It shouldn't avoid the more complicated or rare ones. The individual focus on education I saw at lunch today works toward a fair educational system. Then I was off to the Fest der Musik. It is a citywide celebration of the summer solstice.
How's it going, everyone? I'm with Bryan, Justin. We're at Mallard Park. We're about to get crazy. Woo!
So what's going on here, Clayton?
We have a big music thing going on. All of Berlin's here, and we're just part of it, you know?
Yeah.
It was amazing to see an event organized on a larger scale than anything we'd see in Seattle. The entire city was teeming with music. Then it was time to go to the Maxim Gorky Theater. Let's just say that most of us got our blood flowing real good by the time we got to the theater. Tickets were used to combat the heat. It felt like a Seattle theater as we settled into the comfortable chairs and stopped videoing for the vlog. Wow, that was a powerful show. It was called Crazy Blood and focused on themes like violence, migration, assimilation, and the role of teaching. It was a show within a show within a show. The outer layer of the show was a group of actors who sang songs throughout to comment on the play's action. This gives the audience a moment for reflection in a place separate from reality, and is part of a style called epic theater made famous by playwright Bertolt Brecht. The second layer was a class and their teacher, who put on a classic German play, The Robbers. The show relied on satire to make fun of the characters' actions and bring across its message. I saw one of its messages to be that good intentions can lead to violence. For instance, the teacher literally has to shoot a gun, at first into a student's hand, to gain and maintain the student's attention and willingness to participate in class. She also forces a Muslim student to remove her headscarf and a confident student to pull down his pants. She does all this, at least in theory, for the student's education. Actions such as the quote-unquote liberation of the Muslim woman were not meant to be taken at face value, but rather to critique this idea of liberation. Is it really liberating if the person doesn't want it in the first place? Is it anyone's responsibility to change her mind? Yet, perhaps because of the cultural barrier, it was difficult to pick up on that satire and ask those sort of questions, at least for me. The satire was definitely there, but it really helped to hear the intention from the Gorky workshop before going to the show. As we discovered at the workshop, guns in schools are more uncomfortable for us as Americans than it is for the average German. So this made the situation more realistic and complicated the satirical message of the play. Another big goal of the show was to break down identity and look at the complexities of someone who supposedly fits in a stereotype. Although we never hear the specific backgrounds of any of the characters, by the end the audience understands that each classmate cannot be accurately portrayed by a label. With the threat of the gun, we forget that stereotype and think of each person as human. These stereotypes are at the center of the ideas of otherness resulting from the white mainstream narrative mentioned in Christina's lectures, and that both German governments to some degree promoted when Germany was separated into East and West, as we saw at the Palace of Tears. Hopefully, we can eventually realize our commonalities as humans without using a gun. Finally, it was a quiet, relaxing evening on the town.
I'm at the cathedral, listening to some Beatles.